More caps got shuffled, I forgot. Need more caps, come on. That's the spirit.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
What's up YouTube, and welcome to a true delight of a deck that doubles down completely on Puffcaps and just tries to level up Teemo as quickly as possible, as well as burn your opponent to the ground as quickly as possible through trap synergies. First of all, let me explain the Puffcap synergies. Of course, we want to play Teemo, we want to level him as quickly as possible, and this deck can somewhat reliably do that on turn 3 already. The idea is we have the attack token, Teemo turn 1, get the hit in 5 Puffcaps. Turn 2 we bank spell mana. Turn 3 we play either Poison Dart or Puffcap Peddler in combination with Entrapment. Now, Entrapment is quite a unique and interesting card. It can be a bit of a gamble, and it requires you to understand your opponent's deck. So you pick whatever you think your opponent plays 3 copies of in their deck and did not look for in the mulligan. Ideally, you get 9 Puffcaps there, you get an additional 3 from Peddler or from the Dart, and that means you already shuffled 17 Puffcaps into your opponent's deck. Swing in with Teemo, make that 34 on turn 3 already. Another option to do so is just double casting Entrapment after you already have a Teemo. And it's a fairly reliable way of leveling Teemo because on average, the Entrapments only need to shuffle 6 Puffcaps on your opponent's deck then. Anyway, so much for the early game. Let's look at the rest of the package. In the mid game, we have Puffcap Peddler continuously shuffling caps into our opponent's deck. Chump Wump, of course, the Mushroom Clouds in combination with Peddler are incredibly efficient. 8 Puffcaps for 1 mana is a complete steal. And once we got a fair bit of Puffcaps in our opponent's deck, we can use Corina to blow up our opponent's Nexus HP into pieces. We can use Ava to just do her job passively or in combination with Hexcore Foundry or Insider Knowledge. Lots of ways of dealing tons of Puffcap damage to your opponent's Nexus while at the same time refilling your hand with all of this cheap stuff you want to continue playing. You might ask yourself at first, why is Otterpus and Trinket Trade in here? Mostly because of the mana efficiency and Puffcap Peddler synergies. But apart from that, they're also just great utility tools and very effective at stalling your opponent's tempo. So Otterpus is a good blocker, as well as Prank can slow them down by 2 mana. And Trinket Trade can find situationally amazing cards. Sometimes we need more burn for our opponent's Nexus. Sometimes we need more removal, like Some Fumes, Mystic Shot, Piltover, Peacemaker. Sometimes we need protective stuff like Purple Berry Shake, Stress Defense, maybe Quicken or Lightning Rush. Just a great versatility tool. Otterpus is also often just a solid pick, and especially in combination with Peddler, it's absolutely amazing. And besides that, some burn in Mystic Shot, Pokestick, Poison Dart to finish our opponent's Nexus off. Keep in mind the Caitlyn level up is often also going to be a huge chunk of damage to your opponent's Nexus. Especially if we can get Caitlyn to strike in a turn where we either played Corina or Insider Knowledge, just having made our opponent activate a lot of those traps, and then Caitlyn can truly one-shot your opponent. All in all, an incredibly fun deck to play. First of all, shout out to Ashirogi for building this. I yoinked it off of his stream, and in the current meta, it doesn't feel too bad. Of course, like burn aggro matchups can be a bit rough. We really do need to outrace them, and we don't really want to make them draw extra cards. So burn matchups can be a bit of a pickle. Midrange can be a bit rough, but a lot of the meta is consisting of slower control decks like Feel the Rush, Kindred Sentinels, Darkness, some Viego or Spooky Karma piles, and that gives us plenty of time to get our game plan rolling, to shuffle a bunch of cards. And we also don't mind making them draw a lot of cards because all of their cards are rather expensive on average anyway, and they just don't have the mana to play all of them. And another thing to consider is that the list is reasonably well tagged for the Ahri Kennen matchup. We play a lot of pings and Poison Darts and Pokestick to disrupt the recalls, target all of those 1 HP units. Mystic Shot can be useful. Caitlyn traps can be very, very useful. And another neat side effect is that they also want to draw a fair chunk of cards. They want to keep on recalling their droplets. They want to play Cyan 1000-tailed, and that just makes them more likely to draw Puffcaps or Flash Bombs. With that being said, I played this deck on my NA Smurf account. I've had a blast playing it and also some fair success while climbing the ladder. And here are a bunch of gameplay examples on how this deck can be played. Poros, that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, we're helping them draw into the combo. This should be a devastating matchup. Teemo into Entrapment though? The only way of stopping Teemo on turn 1 is playing a Poro, and that means I can Mystic Shot it on turn 2. Sick. If they don't have a Poro by turn 3, the game is so over. Let's go. I wonder if my opponent holds Poro Cannons, just unsure whether or not to discard. Oh, yikes. Let's go. They usually don't play Burn. So at this point it should be easier for us to know which units our opponent does not have. For example, Daring Poro. Fort Chief. It's even more certain, right? Should be a 3-off as well. Jackpot. Jackpot. So what I'm still not sure about is if Teemo actually only doubles the Puffcaps on the cards. Or if these, like if now all the 4 Chiefs will have 12 Puffcaps on them. Or if it's generally just doubled, it's spread out across the deck. I guess we'll see pretty soon. So yeah, my opponent's gonna draw those Puffcaps in bursts, that's for sure. Discarding Station Archivist, okay. Scary. Guess we're just playing Foundry. We kinda gotta win through just Puffcaps and Nexus Burn now. My opponent plays Legacy, they push 14. The other idea is Peddler and at least taking that block out, but I think on the turn 6 attack we die anyway. So we just try to outburn our opponent. So on average, EG draws 1.5 damage to their face. 4 draws is 6 damage of the Foundry. 9 damage. We still need more burn or more Puffcaps. Perfect. Okay, so far this very much supports the theory that the Puffcaps get doubled and spread out across the deck. Yeah, we can only play 1 Peddler and we just try to play as many spells as possible. Poke is quite perfect. So we're upping the Puffcap number per draw to like 1.6, 1.7. And we only need to deal 10 damage. 4 draws. And keep in mind that these Forged Chiefs have a lot of Puffcaps on them, are still in our opponent's deck. We make them draw 1, the game's probably over. Or if we draw more burn. Wow, let's go! That's the 4 cheap. Wait, is it though? It has to have 6 Puffcaps on it, right? The second one didn't have any, okay. Yeah, that was probably just a random event there. Okay, it's the best we can do though. Wait, ordering matters because we want to shuffle Puffcaps first and then make him draw. That is the Puffcap Peddler. I mean, on average, our opponent draws just below 2 Puffcaps, but keep in mind the 4 Chiefs have okay odds here. Oh, that's one. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Double Entrapment on the same card. Gotta love it. Oh, that was lovely. Turn 6 burn lethal. This deck can be really, really fast. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. Technically, we have plenty of effective removal for the small lurkers. And they can't really deal with our boy here. So the question is, how greedy do I go for a Teemo level up? How proactively do I want to play? Caitlyn's a keep for sure. Pokestick really only hits the fearsome. We play plenty of pings. Let's be a bit greedier. Pokestick can be good, but it's a bit on the slow side. Yeah, this guy's Pokestick would have been good, of course. Can't know that in advance, though. Yikes. We'll let both hits go through. This is gonna get a better block later on. Not the greatest draw for this matchup specifically. Okay, gotta hope for some trap RNG, I think. At this point, I think I like blocking with Caitlyn. We can force a lot of traps later on with the insider knowledges if our opponent open attacks turn 6. Just in case of Snapjaw Swarm. Ah. Bit unfortunate they hit the same target. It's fine though, I can't complain too much. Probably want to use the prank here to slow down my opponent. Right now the main objective is not dying, and then I can worry about killing my opponent. I need to not die next turn, then I probably win. Ooh, this is not too great. But that means there's a good chance our opponent doesn't develop more units. Okay, so we want to bank mana so we can maybe play Ava and Mystic Shot. And once Ava's out, then we can go Cloud, Knowledge. Also, I didn't track the hand exactly, but those might be the cards our opponent lurked with. Which means it's very unlikely they're holding a Pyke. Okay, I don't have to play Ava yet, technically. Maybe it's just Trinket Trade Otter. Mystic Shot 1. Wait, let this go through. Block, block. Play Ava. No, let's shuffle some caps first. Does Iterative make sense anywhere? Jump Wump is too mana inefficient. Just Otter, I guess. Block with these two, we can let Doombreaker go through. With the Lurk, so very likely there's no Rek'sai in my opponent's hand. So I send Mystic Shot face. I want to not burn mana. Next turn I go Ava into Insider Knowledge if needed. Just accept the fact we're probably dead on our opponent's next attack. And we basically hope for no Bone Skewer and no Death from Below. But if they don't have it, we should win this easily. God damn. And that changes things. Oh, the Teemo, let's go! And Ava doing work, let's go! No Bone Skewer, please. I mean, even if they have Bone Skewer, a Pokestick plus Insider Knowledge probably closes out the game. Plus the main deck draw. 3 draws alone should already kill them. But yeah, if the Teemo hit goes through, it's pretty much guaranteed. Let's go! The heart of the Puffcaps is on our side. It was pretty huge that Ava doubled that many Puffcaps. Yeah, the defensive Rek'sai is actually smart. It's a card with no caps attached. Might be the Rek'sai right away. But that doesn't save you from the onslaught. Yep, it was the Rek'sai. Actually, no, wait. It was the Rek'sai on top. No mana to play this. But actually, these are more dispersed than Entrapment is. And we only need 1 Puffcap. These have a higher chance of hitting 5 different cards. Oh, ordering again. And let's hope for the best. I mean, we know our opponent has a Rek'sai on top. There's about no way they dodge this. Okay. Pyke on top. Wait, if that is the Rek'sai without Puffcaps, there's actually a fair chance our opponent... Oh, got one of the Peddler Puffcaps. GG's. In Peddler we trust. So our opponent just put a Pyke without Puffcaps on top of the deck, but the Puffcap Peddler Puffcaps hit that Pyke. Darkness, interesting. Should be a good matchup for us overall. Believe the deck's just generally too slow. We still want Mystic Shot for the Catalyzer, and then Peddlers are very tough for my opponent to deal with. Jump Bomb's not the worst keep with double Peddler. But I also kinda want Foundry or Knowledge. Well, mostly Foundry. And Teemo on 1 for fun. But this is tempting. That's probably fine. Peddler on 3, Peddler on 4, Jump on 5. Maybe Jump on 4 actually.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
Because I don't mind Jump on blocking, but I do mind Peddler blocking. I don't care if my opponent has Veigar. Ah, that I care about though. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, lovely.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk. Oh, whoops, am I right?
I don't think they'll see the Teemo coming. Quick pass to make it look unsuspicious. Ah, unfortunate. Opponent's too woke.
Excuse you.
Ava into Corina. Looks like kind of the most straightforward way to win. Just so many threats for our opponent to deal with. Fair. Go for a Teemo hit. If he connects, then Corina should just be close to a game ender.
Another day in the field.
I'll pick 'em, you plan 'em, kid.
With our crystals combined.
Run away, Pyke.
Go, go, Teemo! Sweet. Oh, not guaranteeing the catalyzer hit. That's interesting. I mean, in this case, I greet even harder, though, right? No reason to play Corina right now.
Hey, Mom, still like a yodel in uniform.
And we yordles in uniform do like a wump.
64. Just wondering if my opponent plays Ishtali. I think it's better to play Corina next round. We're not really dying this turn. So just Peddler into a lot more caps. And then Corina should more or less guarantee to close it out. Sure. No mana to play the darkness. Unfortunate hit on the Foundry, but should be fine. I mean, I want my opponent to draw at this point. Can keep that card cheap. Oh, then again, I still should have hit it probably. Because I kind of want to open attack with Teemo, right? Before Corina. Ooh, Corina into Caitlyn. Never mind. Corina into Caitlyn is nasty.
This will be my magnum opus.
Close.
Make the darkness your
I love this deck.
I aim to win, and my aim
It's
is
perfect.
excellent.
Excellent. Damn, I need to learn Caitlyn voice lines.
We here.
What do we have here?
Nothing.
Honorable seppuku. Yeah, this matchup's very one-sided in most cases though. Especially if we have that early Mystic shot for the Catalyzer and the Peddlers can't get contested that easily. Okay, this matchup should definitely be on the rough side. Let's see what we can get done. I mean, we do have to outrace our opponent. I don't think we really have time to play Foundry. Also increases the odds of them to draw into Taric plus Rally. Teemo? Teemo, where are you hiding? I want to shoot it now while my opponent doesn't have Pyke Gate. Or Sharp Side. Even though we do technically miss some Paddler Puffcaps. They still play Chain Vest these days? Probably. I just let the hit go through, it's fine.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Okay, no Pantheon triggers yet, it's very good. That's also very good.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
I've got your back.
I don't think Fumes is good enough. Hope our opponent has neither Sharp Sight nor Single Combat, I suppose.
Armed and ready.
Not the worst if Teemo gets removed here, since he's not leveled yet. Like, this is actually fine for me. The Peddlers will... Like, one Teemo hit is only 5 Puffcaps. Any spell I play with Peddlers is 6.
My shield is yours. Honor guide me.
Okay, and I think now it's just... Prank Foundry Ava. Okay, no more rally this turn. Ava isn't good enough yet. Jump Wump if they try to rally. Mystic Shot one of these. Could actually ping the barrier, go for a value block. Nah.
Oh, that's a harvest right
Could do the same without pinging the barrier. Send that to the face later. Or just this, I guess. Interesting. It's unlikely our opponent's gonna have more attackers than we have blockers. Dragon's Clutch is not really a card in this deck. Pantheon is scary. The Overwhelm. I guess we should sacrifice one of them. Zenith is also a card.
Cast off your fear and stand as one.
Well, what have we here?
Looks like we're fine. Actually, we're one blocker short on a rally, right? No, we can let this... Ah, yeah, Overwhelm. Ah, damn, we're dead to a rally. Maybe I should have pinged the Pantheon shield.
Another day in the field.
What? Wrong target? I can just let Pantheon hit me for a 4. That's peculiar. Okay, winnable all of a sudden. So Teemo dies because of Concerted, but Teemo's at least gonna force the Concerted and then Ava's open. And people make some questionable plays in NA Plat. Okay, still somewhat winnable. Could work. Concerted on Teemo. We play Ava into Insider Knowledge. Just gotta hope they don't have sharp... Yes, let's go. Hope they don't have more strike effects. Cataclysm wins. So no Cataclysm, no single combat, and we're fine.
Bandle Scout recruit Ava, ready to learn.
Okay, so on average our opponent draws, what, 1.6 Puffcaps? 3.2? So a total of 4 draws, and we can draw Burn. We have a chance. But of course our opponent can also draw strike effects for Ava. Oh, more caps got shuffled, I forgot. Need more caps, come on. That's the spirit. I'm surprised by how many games Ava is carrying.
They will know.
Ready for anything.
Yeah, none of this matters really, right? Alright, bring it on. Give me them puff caps. Hush. Now we gotta believe. Still doable. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Oh. Well, after a high roll, we get a low roll. It happens. GG's. Now I'm curious. This matchup is an interesting one. I mean, my opponent's deck wants to draw quite a fair bit. Alright, getting a Teemo hit then most likely. Then again, Wayfinder also just tutors from the deck.
I'll see all this world has to offer. Let's dance.
Definitely just replaying Teemo. My opponent really considering end round. Would be pretty good for me. Well, I could have also tried to prank the Mark of the Storm actually. Would have been hot. Entrapment top deck would be sick. Okay, we could hope for this to find Mushroom Cloud or Entrapment. Pretty bad odds though. Or we can go the safer round and use this in conjunction with Peddler later on. Could play Caitlyn, swing with her as well. My opponent's most likely play is a Wayfinder as well. Actually, Caitlyn is kind of fine. Like, the flash bombs might be more important than Puffcaps at this point to disrupt my opponent. I maybe should have played this differently, like played Caitlyn last round. And then this round, Teemo Peddler.
Let me see your technique.
You what, mate? Really? I guess shutting down Caitlyn traps is quite key for my opponent. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. That's like the slowest Ahri cannon I've ever faced.
I'll have what he's having.
Nice. I guess Peacemaker is more effective in this matchup. Most important thing here is that we get the Mystic shot. and get the Teemo hit.
There's no shortage of possibilities, but there's always a best path.
It's crazy how rapidly the player level accelerates once you go up tiers. Like in Diamond and Masters. People realizing that they need to keep mana open to play around their opponent's stuff. Like this Mystic Shot into Teemo attack is just a like complete blowout, even if my opponent can stop it with a Palm or a Homecoming. They just fall so far behind in tempo and mana. Maybe I can interrupt the Homecoming with like trap into... Ah, never mind, I don't have Caitlyn traps yet.
One step ahead.
But you get the idea.
Catch me if you can.
Holy smokes, that's so much damage. Peacemaker right now for 6 Puffcaps. It's probably the same if I do it post-combat. Play Peddler, this is also 6 Puffcaps. And I don't allow my opponent to change their mind, maybe play a Homecoming.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
I've heard about you.
Peacemaker protocol.
Flash Bomb bluff value. Ooh, dangerous. Maybe punished.
Practice, as they say, makes perfect.
Care that the hunt does not consume you, Ahri.
The others seem to wish it so.
Seems like my opponent has no droplets in hand. Wayfinder.
They grow up so
Hey, solid +9.
Right steps.
quietly now.
Sure. No problem.
I am a huntress. I am Vastaya.
Wait for my opponent to tap under deny mana. Can't really play around Notify.
So, you have chosen your path.
Promise it won't cross with yours.
Time for a leap of faith.
So, you have chosen your path.
Promise it won't cross with yours.
Scoping the area.
Want any trouble?
The hunter approaches.
Four mana twin instead of 2 mana one. Interesting. Quite peculiar. Oh, we can just slam it.
Examining the evidence.
Let's go. Half caps all day.
Another criminal court, another case closed.